I'm Shane Nyland, and my co host is Blake Musser. And these stories you're about to hear are from Weapons Company, 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines, 1st Marine Division, about the events surrounding and directly from the mouths of the people who were in Ramadi 2004. All right, man. Let's tell everybody who you are.
John Mark Lopez. I was attached to MAP 2 during the Ramadi deployment. I went in as a combat replacement, and I was a sergeant during that time.
Nice, man. Yeah, I remember getting the 4 of you.
Yeah.
What role did you end up sliding into?
I was with the dismount guys, with Taco, Knife, Miranda, Matroka. I think that was it that were in the back of my truck, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Miranda, Matroka, Neil.
One more. The kid that broke his jaw.
Oh, Cohen. Yeah.
Cohen.
Yeah, Cohen was with us.
Yep.
Yeah.
And remind me, when did you came with everybody? So that talking with other people, that would have been May 12th or 11th or something like that, right?
Yeah. I ended up getting over there with that first group. So, myself, my brother, of course, and then Day, and then Hampton. All
Yep.
4 of us were in the team, and that's where including the other group, we all met up with y'all there in Ramadi.
Cool. Well, you want to talk a little about the lead up as to kind of where you came from and
Yeah.
how you found out about coming to 2-4?
Yeah. Well, my story's a lot different than everybody else because, we were all with 3-5. Of course, I was expecting to re-enlist, so I wasn't part of the people getting ready to EAS. So I didn't get to go to all the meetings and stuff that they had about going back, So if they had 6 months left on their contract, hey, they're getting sent back. And of course, my brother was part of that. So they get them all, I guess, in the gym or wherever they sent them. I didn't get to go to any of the meetings because I had to stay back with the platoon. But, they come back and they're like, they're sending us back. And of course, I'm like, I'm not going to let my brother go there by himself. And of course, the rest of my buddies that I did, pretty much came in the Marine Corps with go, as well. So during that time, I had to make a choice. So I'm like, well, I'm going with these guys. And of course, 5th Marines wasn't happy because I was slated to stay. I went on meritorious boards to, promote to sergeant because during that time, all the MOSs got, 9 across the board, 999, so nobody could get promoted. So they're like, we want to promote you. So I went on the board, went all the way up to division board, won that. And then, yeah. So 3-5 is expecting me to stay. And of course, I'm like, I'm not staying. They're like, well, you're about to re-enlist. I'm like, well, I haven't re-enlisted yet. Go ahead and terminate my re-enlistment package. And I went back with those guys. They weren't too happy about it. So
That's
yeah,
making friends and influencing people on that one.
You know what I mean? It's like 3-5 with my brother and my family. So I'm like,
100%.
Like,
I get it completely. No,
but I had a plan the entire time. I always do. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Of course, yeah. I end up going back with them. Which it's a pretty crazy ordeal.
I like that you glossed over a big deal in that little story, and you acted like it wasn't a big deal, that you went all the way on a division meritorious board and got division Marine of the Quarter, Marine of the whatever.
Yeah.
That's a fucking huge deal, man. Like, you had to beat out a lot of people to be that. Like, that's a big honor. And you're just like, oh man, I just got a division meritorious, and just like zoop, 3 seconds, didn't even say nothing. Dude, that's badass.
Well,
Yeah, I'm not sure I ever even got like Marine of the fire team ever. And so
I never got Marine of the 5 minutes. Yeah.
Well, and that was my second time. So I won also, and I would have got meritoriously promoted corporal.
Nice.
But I was slated to get promoted that next month. So of course, Sergeant Major Vines was like, "Hey, Devil Dog, you're going to go ahead and you're still number one, but we're going to give the promotion to the second place guy because you're promoting on the first." So they gave it to the other guy. And of course, thinking about it now, I'm like, I would have preferred my citation saying meritorious than just regularly, and I didn't care.
Yeah.
All right, Sergeant Major, whatever.
Sure.
And, yeah, went on with it, but yeah.
And Sergeant Major Vines wasn't an easy human being to disagree with anyway. So honestly, I probably would have disagreed with him anyway.
Yeah, the way he was for sure. But yeah, he was a good dude as long as you stayed on his good side.
Yeah, for sure.
You gave him the proper greeting.
Yeah, that's it. No, I wouldn't like aye, Sergeant Major. You know what I mean? So I didn't make him mad during my during that board, so it went well.
That's good, man. That's cool. Now, I kind of asked your brother about this too, and we didn't mention your brother's name. You're the brother of Manuel Gonzalez, who we also have already interviewed.
Yeah.
I find it interesting given the precedent set. I mean, I don't know what they call it anymore. It's got an actual name, but I always call it the Lincoln Doctrine. I don't even know if that's true, but where, family members weren't supposed to serve in the same unit because of the risk of.
I think it's Sullivan.
It could be. Yeah. It's probably named after the brothers that died and not the president. But I know it was President Lincoln who's the one that wrote up some of that shit. Basically, that one family shouldn't bear the burden if a couple people died. But the idea was that none of you had died already, so you could go ahead and serve. But then you read the same damn truck. Boy, we were stupid.
Yeah. Man, but we were lucky the entire time, like, going into boot camp, and then we were in two separate platoons. He was in lead series and I was in follow series. And then, of course, as soon as I talked to the series gunnery sergeant, because of course I was a house mouse and I got to go clean the series gunny's little, area. And of course I was like, "Yeah, my brother's here." He's like, "What? Your brother's here?" I'm like, "Yeah, he's in platoon 2107. He's like, "What the heck?" He's like, "Did you come in the buddy program?" I'm like, "Yes, sir." He's like, "I'm going to fix that." And that's when, of course, his drill instructor shows up on my deck. He's like, "Where the fuck you at, Lopez?" I'm like, "Oh, my goodness." I'm like, "Here, sir." He goes, "You got a brother in my platoon?" I said, "Yes, sir, I do." He's like, "You want to come to my platoon?" I was like, "No, sir." Of course, because I had all gunnies. So I can say boot camp for me was cake. You know what I mean? Like, he had an all sergeant team. I had an all gunny team. These guys care about their careers.
Oh, yeah.
Sergeant, I don't care. You know what I mean? So I was like, "No." He goes, "Well, fuck you. You're not coming to my platoon." He goes, "You know what? In fact, this is going to be a competition between you and your brother. And that's the way it's going to be this entire time." And I'm like, aye, sir. So we end up, sticking with our platoons until the end. And of course, we went to SOI. Went through SOI, and then they're like, "Hey, you're going to be mortarman." I'm like, what the fuck is a mortarman? I don't even know what this is. You know what I mean? So, of course, we ended up there and then graduated. And then they're like, "All y'all are slated for 3-5. I'm like, "Oh, we're still together." Ended up in 3-5. When we got there, they split us up. I ended up with Kilo Company. He went to another company that weekend. But come Monday morning formation, they ended up bringing us all back together. And then we all ended up in weapons company again. So yeah, it's just wild how everything just came right back around, But did the first deployment with them. Of course, he was Alpha section. They split us up. He was Alpha section, and I was in Bravo section. So it all worked out. I was in the Humvees, and he got the ride on the track. So yeah, it's good to go.
Cool, man. So it sounds like you weaseled your way into get into the group to come with us. How was it coming over?
The Marine Corps, man. It was a shit show the entire time. You never know what's going on. And there we are going to Marsh Air Force Base and then flying over commercial plane over here to meet up with y'all. Heck, I don't remember much after that. Well, hell, all my deployments come, get entwined together here.
Right. But, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you bring your SIFT gear from 3-5, or did you have to turn that in and pull gear somewhere else?
I brought everything with me from 3-5. We just, whatever we had, we took it with us.
Nice.
Yeah. That was the good thing about it. So yeah. I'll say But yeah,
I mean, small victories, man. Yeah.
yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? But yeah, they loaded up us, loaded us up like a bunch of sardines, and then I just remember being in the plane and having all this gear literally stacked up on top of us on the flight all the way up there. I'm like, this sucks, but you know what I mean? It's better than a C-130 or anything else. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, I remember getting to Blue Diamond, and that's about it. Well, I do remember the buses that were all covered up, the windows covering up, and I'm like, where in the hell are we going? You know what I mean? So,
Right.
just riding in the middle of the damn desert. Of course, I don't even think they gave us any ammo then.
No, no. I
Probably
mean, you
not.
were,
No,
if you were on buses, you were probably in Kuwait still, so they wouldn't have given you any ammo.
yeah, they didn't give us anything yet, and I'm like, what the hell? Where's my ammo? I'm ready for this. You know what I mean? But of course, they didn't give us anything, and then we finally get the Blue Diamond, and that's when they started giving us a very, very little bit of ammo for the ride. I'm like,
Sure.
you're supposed to be in so much combat, but like, here you go, here's 30 rounds, enjoy yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So you didn't get to go to any of the meetings. Did you have any idea what you were stepping into? Did you hear anything about 2-4? Or I know you knew you were a combat replacement, but did you know what that meant or why we were bringing people in?
Yeah. I kept up with a lot of that stuff because, well, heck, they talked about it because during that time, I just got back from infantry squad leader course. And during that time, they would debrief us about what was going on in Ramadi. And they're like, y'all better get ready. Everything's happening. And, if you're we are infantry, you better get ready. Like you're about to get deployed again and get ready for whatever, you know what I mean? So they debriefed us some during my course about it, but I still didn't understand the amount of casualties you actually sustained during that time. So,
Sure.
but it was cool though. After, I was excited to go, especially after attending squad leaders course, and they're like, "You're going." I'm like, "Hey, let's do it." You know what I mean? So I was motivated during that time. So
Yeah. Yeah.
but other than that, I would try to keep up with some things, but for the most part, I didn't realize how bad it really was. But after you sit there and think about everything, you were going into a city that was well fortified and they were ready for you. You know what I mean? Nobody would actually go into the city, and what do you expect when you're going into somebody else's turf?
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I didn't really know too much, just the stuff that I picked up here and there. And then when it came to the debrief, I just got the information, whatever my brother gave me, and then that's what I went off of.
Hmm.
So yeah.
So you got to Blue Diamond. Did you guys then spend any time at Blue Diamond, or do you come almost immediately over to Hurricane Point?
I remember Sergeant Major Booker and then Lieutenant Colonel Kennedy being there, picking us up and then giving us a debrief, getting ready to let us know where we were going, what companies we were going to. And of course, we ended up going to Weapons Company. Originally, I think we were supposed to go to Golf Company. And then I think the other ones found a way to get us back into Weapons Company, of course, because they're like, hey, we're weapons, you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't give a damn where you send me. Just send me somewhere, you know what I mean? But they were able to convince Sergeant Major Booker, hey, these guys are already weapons. Let's go ahead and send them to Weapons Company, So it worked out for us. So they ended up like, nope, okay, this group here, y'all are weapons, y'all going to weapons. So it ended up good with us,
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Yeah. It was good. Yeah.
Any first
impressions?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Honestly, like when we met y'all, when we end up coming in and meeting up with y'all.
Yeah, whatever your first memories or first impressions were when we kind of brought you over and started going.
And honestly, I didn't know what to think. Like I'm like, okay, I understand they're coming here, and I also knew y'all had a boot drop right before y'all went on this deployment.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, I'm like, okay, what type of training have these guys had? What is going on? Like, there's a lot of 100,000 thoughts going through my mind, but honestly, it was all good. Like, I'm like, I understand they've been through a lot of combat, take it as a grain of salt, and I'm coming here to assist. So let me do whatever I needed to do to assist in whatever way. You know what I mean? I knew I was coming into y'all's territory, and I, left 3-5, and then you're in the leadership position there, and then end up at 2-4, and it's like, all right, let's see where they're going to put me, and that's pretty much about it, man. Like, I always go there with like an open mind, but you hear me bitch from time to time. But if I don't like something back then, I was pretty vocal, so, but for the most part now, I just was open-minded and was there to help in whatever way I needed to help,
It's but you say that I don't remember you bitching almost ever. Not never.
Yeah,
I remember you.
I try not to, but with the Marines, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they pissed me off a lot. And I was pretty strict back then, and I was always like, hate to say it, like robotic. Like, this is the way we're gonna do shit. Don't be doing stupid shit, because I was serious all the time. Like.
Well, I was gonna say, I remember you making, I don't know, tactical suggestions, I guess. Like, you were like, this is what we're doing. This is the way to provide Overwatch. This is the things we need to do. And I was like, fucking sounds good, man. Let's go. Like,
yeah. So like with you, if I told you my idea or whatever, you're like, all right, that's good. Let's do it. Like,
yeah.
But I was real serious, and I didn't really joke around or do anything. I was pretty serious when I was in the Marine Corps. Now I joke around like crazy because I can do it. I'm not in that role anymore. Now I can relax and stuff. But back then, man, I was like, oh man, yeah. I didn't have much of a sense of humor back then.
I was gonna say, did you feel like that was a culture clash? Because our platoon was full of fucking jokers.
Yeah, Matroka joked around a lot.
Yeah. That's the understatement of the century.
Yeah, always joking, always doing something, and here's me just looking at him. I would just shake my head. I'm like, what the hell? You know what I mean? But for the most part, I just continued on. Like.
Although actually, I guess that was kind of good because Neil was super serious, and Miranda was mostly serious. He occasionally would tell a joke or two, but not many. But that actually probably ended up pretty good.
Yeah, I clashed very well with them. Miranda too. At first, I'm like, this guy don't talk.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, a few words, but then he opened up. And then especially when I got promoted up there. They end up promoting me there in front of everybody. And then he's like, you got promoted to sergeant. I'm like, well, yeah, no shit, dude. They just pinned me on, you know what I mean? He's like, okay, good to go. But then we were in a truck full of sergeants, him, me, Neil.
Yep.
And then Matroka was a corporal too. It's like, man, we're NCO.
No, we had some wild rank going on some of those platoons, just so NCO heavy. It's crazy.
Half my platoon, well, a third of the platoon was sergeants at one point. That's crazy. We had a lot of sergeants.
Yeah, did they get promoted before y'all went on this deployment, or when did that happen?
Well, let's see. Randall came to us as a sergeant. I was a sergeant for a year before we deployed. Let's see. Jordan got promoted to sergeant almost a year before not quite a year, 6 months before the deployment, maybe. Trying to think. I don't know when Neil picked up, because Neil was a sergeant, got busted down to lance, and then went back up to sergeant in my time frame. Like, I remember him going back up the ranks.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a big.
I don't remember when Miranda picked up, but I think most of those guys were already sergeants before.
Miranda picked up right before
Ramadi.
We deployed. Yeah, Miranda picked up right around Thanksgiving time frame, I think, or something like that. Hardin, same thing. Okay. Hardin picked up right at the end of Oki.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's right. Y'all were stuck on that rock for a long time.
For a whole year,
we
man.
were there, yeah.
I forgot about that because we ended up doing the initial invasion, and of course, y'all were deployed with the 31st. 31st. And,
we drank that island dry a couple times.
Yeah, how was that?
So quite literally, we were watching you on TV on the Essex. What the fuck were we eating? Somebody had a giant bag of, like, I think it was Sour Patch Kids or some kind of sour candy. And we were all sitting around watching it. We're like, well, there's the war happening. And while we're sitting here doing fucking nothing, smelling each other's farts in this squad bay.
Man, that sucks. Especially like as infantry guys, you know what I mean? Like you like
Yeah.
I
Oh, it
train
was
and I do this and we prepare and then
Oh yeah,
it was
bad.
it was a
Oh,
mind
shit,
fuck.
and I
Oh
don't
no, it was
know.
bad.
It was
It was bad. It was that was a huge. If you could bottom out morale and then dig for a mile, you would start getting close
Yeah.
to where we were at.
You can only imagine, especially being there a year. They're like, by the way, you're getting extended because we have no other units to send
Yep.
over here.
Well, just to be clear, we had turned in everything. We were sitting on the curb with our packed sea bags when they came out and was like, well, gents, you're not going home for Christmas. We thought we were going to be home for Christmas.
Yep.
Go grab your keys again, unpack. We're staying indefinitely. Like, oh no, it was bad.
Talking about the big green weenie there, huh?
Yeah, man.
Oh no,
Oh man, that sucks. Yeah, I forgot about.
now you understand why we were so angry in Ramadi, and it was possibly one of the reasons why we were able to the rage just
to release that frustration there, huh?
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh man, I forgot about that too. Yeah, y'all got the bad end of the stick then.
Yeah.
But you ended up in Ramadi, though.
Yeah. No, I mean we got what we asked for, I guess.
It's true.
Well, so you guys showed up. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Nah, man, go ahead.
So what did y'all think about us?
That's a good question. I had no idea what to expect. Now that you guys have all told me you were mortarmen, I don't think I remember even knowing that you were mortarmen. When we deployed, we were under TO already. Like we just did not even have enough people to really fill the trucks. And so that was a huge stress anyway on me. And so we were often borrowing people from headquarters. We were borrowing people from other platoons. I remember a couple of early ops, we borrowed guys from 81s and stuff like that just to fill seats when we didn't have enough dismounts to actively provide overwatch or kick down doors or anything like that. And so I almost didn't care. I don't wanted people. I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
And when you showed up and you guys looked like normal people who knew how to do shit, I was fucking elated. Like I was just happy to have anybody who looked somewhat proficient. And I mean, we went out. I'll let you tell your impression, but my impression personally, I loved you. I loved you and your brother instantly because you guys, even though you were very serious, you were super easy to get along with. You guys were immediately like, let's look at the map. Let's look at the trucks. What the fuck are we dealing with? And it was great. You were like immediately on board. Hampton was mostly the same way too. It took a minute to lead Day to the party. Man. But honestly, I loved Day and he was in my truck quite a bit because Day would do anything. He didn't care. He literally didn't care. You could have told him to stand on your head for this whole op. He'd be like, all right, whatever, man, I don't give a fuck. And he would just stand on his head. Like, he was just a great dude as far as that goes.
Well, all you needed to do was give him a cigarette and he's ready to go. You're like,
that's why
he goes, let me smoke my cigarette. And then he's ready to do whatever you tell him to do, you know? So
that's why we got along. We would just immediately at every op, we'd just share a cigarette and it'd go good. Yeah, that's true.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It was similar for us too. I remember being appreciative of grabbing some more NCOs. We had quite a few Lance Corporals and below. And so just having some more experience, I remember being appreciative of. And we had Clark, Martinez, and Adams in Sledgehammer. And so got along with them just fine. Actually, I got along real close with Martinez and Adams, but
those dudes are easy to get along with, though, you know.
Well, I enjoyed joking around and stuff like that too. And so they were always up for a wisecrack and an unserious moment. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you talk to them, like Lopez was always serious. I don't know what the heck was going on with him. But that was just my mentality then. I was just like, just strict and just do what I need to do, and that's about it. You know?
Well, you would have had to have been if you had gone all the way up to division for meritorious, and then also have just come off the heels of squad leaders course, man. I mean, like you would have.
Yeah.
That's where your mind would have had to have been to be able to be selected to go do those things.
Yeah.
Like this, so that makes perfect sense. Do you feel like coming on the heels of the squad leaders course, coming to Ramadi, did you feel like it spun you up in a particularly good way, or were they teaching tactics that didn't quite apply and you had to kind of piece it together?
Honestly, no. It prepared me because during squad leader course you do pretty much everything. They mount training, patrolling, orders. I got to learn how to write a lot of orders during that course. That's pretty much all you do. It's like, oh, here you go, write a full order, and you're like, crap, you got 20 minutes, and you're like sitting there with it's in the middle of the night, and here you are with your damn, your moonbeam and trying to write an order in the middle of the night, But yeah, I think it prepared me a lot for that situation. I didn't know if I was going to have to write an order or not, but if I did, I'm prepared. I'm prepared for whatever was sent my way, and that's why if they sent me to a line company, I was ready for that. It didn't matter to me, I was ready to lead whatever position they put me in. So
I was just talking to a friend about this topic a little bit, of the idea that having to write orders, for example, helps your brain organize the information that you need to work on. And so I could see that being very, very useful, that maybe you're not writing it down, but when you're intaking the information of, enemy location, size, etc., you're thinking in a predetermined way. And so you're able to then come back out. Yeah. But my second question though to that is, I do appreciate that you were able to have the mindset of, do what needed to be done and not having an ego coming in. At the same time, with what you've told me about your background coming into this, and then also being on the upper end of corporal, and then obviously you're driving sergeant right away, and then obviously being in leadership positions beforehand, was that difficult not being in leadership and kind of being one of the masses, or was it kind of a relief in some ways of just being like, well, I get to just fight now?
Honestly, it was more of, I wish I was in the leadership position. You know what I mean? That's,
yeah, sure.
That was my role. That's what we were waiting on, of course, because all of our assaults got stop lost, and you're like, crap, now these dudes are going with us. You know what I mean? And then, of course, I got screwed over during the deployment because I was an FO. I wasn't a gun monkey guy. You know what I mean? So I hated the damn water system. And they're like, who wants to be an FO? When we first got to platoon, I'm like, this guy, can you run? Can you PT? And I'm like, yeah. So of course I made it through the whole process and became an FO. But then shit, I was always attached to Lima company. So OF1 kicks off and I'm thinking, hey, heck yeah, this is my time. I'm going to deploy as an FO. They get stop loss. And of course they're like, oh, the assaults are taking y'all spots. Of course, my squad leader, Puerta, ended up going to name a company. They were like, so you got to go back to the gun. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, all this training I've done to be an FO and I'm going back to be on a gun. So I ended up deploying OF1 as a gun monkey with these guys, man. So
I feel your pain, man. I was supposed to be the FDC chief, and they took away the mortars from me, and I never got to spend data in anger, man. And so I feel you.
Martinez got to go though. He got to deploy because we didn't have an India company FO. So our assaults, one was with Kilo company, the other one was with Lima, and of course Martinez got to stay with India. They're like, well, Martinez gets to go with his company. I'm like, how in the fuck did I get screwed over here? Like, I was like, this is my time to shine. I've been ready for this, and then of course, yeah, you do the deployment and you come back, and then, well, they end up leaving, and we're like, all right, finally, we get our platoon, we're in charge, and then we get back, and then, of course, go to 2-4, and then leadership get taken away, and to me, I like to be in those positions. I like to lead. I like to train new people, but then, of course, getting there, you just tasked with doing whatever is needed from y'all. So yeah, it was a kick in the balls.
Now, I don't know because I didn't. I don't know. I don't know what the hell kind of leader you thought I was, but I did not try to micromanage people when I knew they were already competent. And we were, as we already talked about, we were extremely NCO heavy. I didn't need to micromanage. I had enough fucking people with experience. I knew what everybody was good at, and I would just send you to do the shit you were good at. You specifically seemed like you kind of took charge of the dismounts. Now, I don't know if, even though, I mean, technically Neil was senior to you, I don't think he ever put up much of a fight. I felt like you were really in charge of all the dismount movement, basically from late May, early June on.
Yeah, I did. Well, because I didn't wait for people, and I pretty much was just start directing orders whenever I get there, So
Yeah.
Well, that was my leadership style, I'm like, well, whose truck was on? A Swede's truck, and of course he's with the truck, and I'm like, let's go. We'll start doing this way. And Miranda look at me, and he's like, okay, let's go. So everybody listened to me. So
Nice.
I'm not sitting there trying to hesitate on anything. No, let's go. In my mind, I'm constantly building that plan and looking for, whatever needs to be done. But that was my mindset during the entire time. So yeah, they didn't give me any kickback, so it was good.
Nice. Well, rolling into it, what do you remember from those early missions, man?
Let me think. Honestly, the biggest one I remember is, of course, the same day, the VBIED Echo Company.
Yep.
Get hit because we were I was in an overwatch position during that time, and then that same day we were clearing the levee.
Yep.
Yeah. Those memories are in my head distinctly because, of course, I do believe we called in that VBIED.
Yes.
I don't know if there was other units or not that called it in as well.
Sledgehammer also called it in.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And I remember watching it though, because we were sitting up on the Overwatch. I look over and they slowly just creep by this thing, and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
And it was boom.
Not only did they drive by it, but they drove by it about 5 or 10 miles an hour, and so it was definitely a target of opportunity.
Yeah. And I remember that because, of course, we had the high back, and we get sent over there, and here we are. I remember showing up. The doc was on the ground, but he was still alive. Of course, Gonzo was dead. The other Gonzalez, the guy that came from 3-5.
Yes.
He and here we are throwing bodies into the back of the truck. Yeah. And us taking them all back to combat outpost.
Yep.
Yeah. But I don't remember which one came first. I believe that was first. Then it was the
engineers first, and then the VBIED second. And the only reason why I know that is because you guys were on an Overwatch position. The engineers got hit. You specifically, I know, came down from the Overwatch position and helped to get the engineers.
Yeah.
Because you carried one of them over to my truck.
Yep. And one kid kept yelling at me, telling me to tell his wife that he loved her.
Yes. Yeah. You told me the same thing. Yeah. And we loaded them. My truck, and I believe it was your high back. I'm not 100% sure.
It was I remember being in the back of my high back, and he's sitting there, dude, just blown to shit, man. Like, all his lower extremities were just pretty much done. And then he's sitting there yelling at me, tell his wife I love her. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. You're going to be okay. You're fine. You're fine. But looking down at the dude, I'm like, holy shit, this dude is fucked up. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to sit here and tell him that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, I specifically remember that because
I did the same thing. The guy in my truck was blind and couldn't see me to know that I was talking to him, but I was yelling at him. I don't know if he could hear me either because he just went through an explosion. But I was yelling at him the same thing. You're going to be fine. You're going to make it. You're going to tell her yourself, all that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we drove like hell, but we drove past that station wagon. And when we drove past it on the way to combat outpost, there was a guy standing next to it. And we called back to Sledgehammer like, hey, that truck's suspicious. Not sure what it is. Take a look at it. They looked at it and they're like, yeah, we think that's, something's going on. We'll call it in. We can't take care of it because they're helping secure the levee and everything else.
Yeah.
We get to combat outpost, drop those dudes off. Battalion surgeon does whatever he does. We take a few minutes. We grab the XO for some reason. He was there at combat outpost, and he comes back out with us. And we went on the complete opposite side of the road, as far away from that VBIED as possible, and drove all the way back.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, there was nobody next to it at that point. And that's, we called it in again. Hey, that car's still there. Somebody needs to get eyes on it and do something about it and decide what to do. And nothing ever happened. We went up on top of that cemetery OP, and that was when, that was when it went off.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that now. What else that day? Oh, I remember when the 4 snipers got killed as well.
Yeah, that was almost 3 weeks later, right after that.
Yeah. You know what's funny about that story is, so Juan Lopez was part of them, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, during the whole deployment, I was married during that time, of course, but I never did call home. I didn't call my family. I didn't do anything, and I was sure as hell not going to go wait in line at the phone center. Well, you know what I mean? That wasn't me. I'm like, I'm not sitting here. I'm not going to wait in line. Whatever. But one day I went up there. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to call home. So I called one of my buddies, Burton, Scott. I'm like, end up calling him up. I'm like, hey, dude. He's like, you're alive. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? He goes, 3-5 had a battalion formation, and they said you were dead. So they got mixed up with Juan Lopez instead of John Mark Lopez.
Oh, jeez.
So during that time of the deployment, so he's like, call your wife now. She thinks you're dead. And of course, me being the asshole I was, I called back and I was like, you spent all that money. She's like, F you, I'm not doing this no more. I'm like,
no shit.
It was like 2 weeks before I even called home after that. So Staff Sergeant I knew that was with 2-5. He was trying to contact, battalion and everything else, trying to see if I was dead or not, because 3-5 literally had a battalion formation saying I was dead. When
get the fuck out.
That's just wild. I'm like, how the hell do you mix up that name? First of all, he's a lance corporal. I was a sergeant during that time. I understand Juan, John, whatever, but how the hell you have a formation saying I'm dead? I'm like, how big of a screw up is that? You know what I mean? I'm like, whatever.
That's funny. That's funny now. That is not fucking funny at all.
Well, of course, like, I think back and like when we call my parents and stuff, I'm like, don't y'all think if anything happened to me, my brother's here. He's going to be calling y'all. He's going to be, they're like, well, we didn't think about that. We didn't think he had a phone or da-da-da, this and that. I'm like, yeah, but the stress that my parents were probably under during that time too. Deployed again, you know what I mean? And of course, yeah.
Wait, so just to be clear, did the casualty contact
no
your family? Okay.
Like,
it was just a regular formation, then and then
they're like,
and then the rumor mill. Okay,
Sergeant Lopez was one of the snipers killed, and there, and I'm like, I wasn't even with the snipers.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm like, how the hell y'all even get this stuff?
That's wild shit.
That's right.
That's so horrible.
Pissed after I left them. Too boring.
That's what they were hoping for.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
this motherfucker.
You know what was funny though? When I did make that meritorious promotion, the sergeant majors up there were like, well, what do you want? A NAM? Or do you want a promotion? I'm like, really? You're going to ask me that question? I came here for a 10 promotion. Like, come on. You can keep your NAM. I don't
that's not even a choice.
Yeah, exactly. Pay me, fools.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that was one of my crazy stories from that deployment, is that whole 3-5.
That's a wild one. That's a wild one, man.
For somebody to think you were dead during that time, you know what I mean? So just everybody's like, you're alive. I'm like, well, duh, dude, I'm calling you right now.
There's no chance anybody from fucking a documentary company or anything but they could make a documentary on how fucked up the medical notification system was in 2004, 2005, because this is what, the 7th or 8th time we've heard now. People like their families Oh, don't worry. He's recovering nicely in the hospital. And the motherfucker never even left Ramadi. Like, was in the hooch. Like, never wasn't in the hospital or anything. Like, the families had no idea where they were.
Oh, wow.
Just crazy, crazy shit. Oh, it's so weird.
Yeah. That's what made me think of that, though, when the four snipers. I remember, didn't we go out there and recover them?
So we went out and provided security on Route Michigan. It was the mortar guys who went. It was either Sledgehammer or Rainmaker. I don't remember. I believe it was Rainmaker.
So Rainmaker did the recovery, I believe, because Sledgehammer, we transported the bodies.
Okay, yeah, that tracks because I think if I remember correctly, it was Lieutenant Dobb and I know Hodges and Staff. So you may have went into the building, John Mark. I have no idea, but I know Staff Sergeant Coleman went into the building and helped clear things out, and he came back relatively shook, actually. And
I remember being outside.
Yeah, you might have went in there. Some of the dismounts I know went up that way to try to help because there was
a grip of people there. I mean, there was a lot.
Yep.
Because we were obviously needing to quickly figure things out.
The one thing that always stuck in my mind, though, I remember seeing these Iraqis laughing as we were carrying the bodies out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that made my blood go even more, man. I'm telling you.
I do remember that because I remember talking a few people out of shooting them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Literally pulling these guys out, and then there's like crowd of people, you know how they always are, nosy and trying to figure out what's going on, but they were laughing, and I was like boiling during that time, you know. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's crazy thoughts in my mind during that time.
There was too many cameras, to be quite honest. I mean, you know, even if they were bad guys who were coming to see the damage or anything like that, like if you could have justified it in any way. It was Al Jazeera was out there. There's too many people out there. And if anything you would have done would have been spun negatively, right or wrong, no matter what. Even if we just went and roughed them up or take them in for questioning, it all would have been bad.
Yeah.
Well, Al Jazeera had gotten there before we had.
Yep. And they were set up across the street. I mean, they were filming us the whole time.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. No, I remember having to be on our P's and Q's because they were there. I don't remember who said it, but I remember very specifically being told, like, hey, you're being like, there's like Nyland just said, being recorded. So make sure that you keep your men under control.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah.
That was a hard day. That was a horrible day.
Definitely a hard day. So, and then after seeing that really just pissed me off a lot. So,
well, I'll remind you one that's one of my favorite John Mark memories. Right, it was before that though. It was when the LAVs got hit on Racetrack Road, and they decided to shoot everything up, and we went out in the midnight QRF. And because it was a important person, it was General Mattis's convoy.
Yep.
We had way too many people out there, and they started firing loom rounds from combat outposts. I don't know if do you remember that? Yeah, well, you want to tell your part of it? I'll tell you my fun John Mark story.
Well, you have a story about me?
Oh yeah.
Oh goodness.
It was great.
So those loom rounds, who fired those loom rounds?
That was they were previously 60 mortar gunners that were from the weapons platoon of, I believe, Gulf Company.
I'm not sure. It was either Echo or Golf. I'm not sure who was dropping rounds, but
I believe it was Golf, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay. Yeah. I just remember going out there, seeing casings everywhere. Nobody was there. I don't remember.
There was a guy who was breathing his last breath after being headshot. There was some dead sheep, and there was a dead police officer. Yeah. That was it.
And we get there, we're like, well, where's this big old engagement that we were coming into? And then, there was nobody there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I recall of it. And I was like, well, what the hell are we doing out here?
Yep. Yeah, they definitely got hit by an IED. According to them, they took small arms fire afterwards. Again, we found a pistol and some shell casings, and that was it. No, so my story of you. So those loom rounds were low, very low. They were bouncing off the fucking buildings and damn near hitting us. They were not hanging at all. And I am minimally FO trained, enough to where I know how to call in missions. And I'm trying to like scream at them. And this is the only reason why I knew you were an FO. And I don't know why I didn't pick up on this afterwards, but you come over, you're the blood red. Your face is like fuming. You're like, they're going to kill somebody. They're going to fucking kill somebody. I was like, here's a radio. Good luck trying to get them to adjust. And you're screaming at the top of your lungs. You started out very calm. You're like up 20, up 50, up anything. And then you just started yelling like, what the fuck are you doing? You're hitting the buildings. Shit is starting on fire. And I was like, this is great. Yeah, get him.
I remember being on the radio for that because, yeah. I don't remember being that angry, but I probably was.
Dude, you never showed anger, like not that kind of anger. You showed normal aggression, but never like anger. You were fuming. I could have cooked bacon on the top of your head. It was amazing.
Yeah, well, that's what I did. I was pissed off at the time.
Yeah,
these
great.
rounds are hanging low and hitting the buildings. It's like, who the hell's calling this in? So yeah.
So that mortar, that gun, I don't know if there was more than one. I don't know the whole situation. However, they're also the ones that almost did a blue on blue on our mortar platoon when they were trying to kick off a bug hunt, and they decided to drop HE to initiate the bug hunt. But like so I don't know if this is true, so you don't take this as a huge grain of salt, but I was under the understanding that because they were 60 guys trying to shoot 81s, that they might have been using the 60 plotting board and wasn't adjusting appropriately or something. I don't completely understand what was going on, but they could not for the life of them get rounds on target.
Clearly.
Clearly.
If it made me mad, then yeah, clearly, you know what I mean? Because I remember when our 81 guys shot some illum rounds as well.
Yeah, they registered just a few rounds. I mean, it was
illum rounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a rainmaker.
I was hoping they'd be like, "Hey, come up here and start adjusting these damn rounds." That's you know what I mean. So yeah, of course that ain't happening. They're like, "Stay back here." I'm like, "Shit, here's my opportunity." Shake and bake.
That would have been. Oh man, I'm so angry. I never got to do. I
remember when that first happened during the initial push, and the major came over the radio, and they're like, Hunter, whatever the fire for effect was, and he was like, HERP mix, shake and bake, and he was like, approved. I'm like, are you kidding me? He just approved that. I was like, what the fuck? And I was excited. You know what I mean? That's just the one thing you always want to do is that HERP mix, shake and bake them, man.
That's awesome. Blake can be sad and cry all night now because he never got to do it.
Did you even get to do any of the FDC stuff or the illum?
Nope. He never did a thing.
Nope. Never got to do a single thing.
Damn.
No.
No. FTC. I never even talked to you while we were, with map 2. I never did leave map. Well, I did go to map 3 because I knew map 3 guys, but for the most part, I never did. I stayed in my little corner and shut my mouth, and that was about it.
I mean, I went around and talked to the other platoons. I was pretty friendly with the outside of 81s, but because we weren't mortarmen over there, there was no discussions about mortar. I mean, like there was no reason to bring it up. And so like, yeah, it just, we're just 03 XX at that point,
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that because I didn't talk to many people. And I didn't talk much either when we were back in the hooch area too, because I took the back little corner. And hell, that's where I just stayed. I didn't go, well, I play spades every now and then, but for the most part, like watching movies or doing anything else like everybody else, like, no, I didn't do that.
I don't remember you playing spades. I remember you cheating at spades every night. That's all I remember.
Man, it's a talent you got to have.
Yeah, that's what your brother said too. You guys are both a couple of liars.
So outside of spades, what did you do when you did you read books or just stare at the ceiling?
Just stare at the ceiling. And just most of the time just think, like, that's about it. I wasn't into reading books.
Did you hit the gym?
Yeah, that was another one of my things. But then they had all these damn rules where you couldn't run and do all this crap, or you had to have somebody with you, and so I didn't really run much. But yeah, I loved the gym. That was my other thing. But for the most part, I just stuck to myself in that little corner. It was me, then Robert, and then Day. Mm-hmm. My brother was up front. He was more of a mingler than I was, but yeah. I remember when that 60 millimeter motor round hit me right there in the corner of my hooch. So. Yep.
That was a good wake up call.
Yeah, it was. I remember that. I was dead asleep when that shit happened.
Yeah.
But we stacked sandbags around the whole hooch.
Mm-hmm.
You remember why that happened?
No.
Because a bunch of the boots pissed me off, and I made them fill sandbags.
No, man. This is what I'm saying. I was mostly hands off. Y'all motherfuckers, I knew you were in charge. You do what you got to do.
Yeah, they pissed me off, and we stacked them too wide. And if it wasn't for me having them stack up them damn sandbags, shit, I probably would have been dead.
That's awesome. Yeah, you saved your own life.
I can't remember the kid, because I remember doing when we had to do guard duty.
Mm-hmm.
And because they were saying that how much crap got dropped into the Euphrates.
Oh, so much. Yeah. So, thousands of dollars in gear.
Yeah. Didn't a clue end up in the Euphrates as well?
It did not end up in the Euphrates. It did fall onto the street and break. But they recovered the rest of it. Yeah.
And then one of my things was because I never did have the stand post because I was a sergeant. I had to go replace and do whatever. And I remember briefing them. If any of you motherfuckers drop anything, I'll duct tape the fucking radio to you. And they're just looking at me like, this motherfucker's crazy. I'm like, nope, I will duct tape this shit to your fucking hand so you don't drop anything at the Euphrates. Yeah.
I love it.
I was an asshole back then, but I don't remember smashing somebody's Game Boy.
Really? I don't remember that.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's before I was about to take him out to the post, and then he was in the back of the truck playing his shit. I can't remember his damn name. I see his face, but I can't remember his name to save my life.
He was going to take a Game Boy up on post?
Yeah, and I grabbed it and I smashed that bitch right there in front of the hooch.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. But that's how I was. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a shit if you're going on, you know what I mean? If you had downtime before you don't take that motherfucker with you. You take it with you then, you're going to.
Oh, you're going to play it.
Something.
Yeah.
There, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just trouble. That's just trouble.
It is. And I didn't play around with any of that shit. That's how. Yeah, my mindset was just different then, you know what I mean? So,
you probably fucking saved his life. He probably got shot playing fucking Game Boy.
Can't remember.
He's lucky like Gunny Meraki didn't see him doing it.
Oh,
that would have saved his life there too. He would have been tossed off the tower.
Yeah. Old Gunny Meraki, that dude. I liked him too.
Yeah, he's good people.
Sorry, Mac and old Pimp, old Sass Arm Coleman.
Yep.
If you like what you've heard, this is a multi-part episode. Make sure you listen to the rest of the story.